last time I'm good. I've example has multi-dimensional diagonality. Start with more theories like you stick to good, bad, like self, and less of you called inferior guys, Russell.
Clear.
So the proposition will only be proved by means of another proposition. Not all proposition will be proved or proved by assuming something. The first step is to determine what being good and bad. Only then can you ask for right conjugate construction good and avoid evil good and bad from the simplest constituents form complex ideas. They are therefore incapable of being analyzed or built to propose simple ideas. Is it the way that children are taught the same name and colors? They're shown that a red book they're told is red. The idea of redness is faith or mind, although it's possible to analyze redness is mind constituents who compose it. Thus, the most self-evident experience consists of more perception are experienced in pain, pleasure, to the body. We form a variety of beliefs on phenomenal introspection. We consider phenomenal states of yellow experience. We can judge their right experiences. We consider experience of pleasure. We can judge their good experiences. Just as things are brighter, black space like yellow, my visual field when I have this other intense pain. It seems that things are worse. We discover through introspection that pleasure makes a positive contribution to the good state of affairs and pain attracts us. The initial pleasure because nothing more than this kind of goodness. Thus, since the most self-evident facts of the goodness of pleasure and badness pain stands consistently utilitarianism. Envision, syllogism, the oneness epistemology, sub 1a. For others, it's certainly justified premise or any number of assumptions, premises, those assumptions that we have to verify before arriving at the truth. Rather, we can deem something is good for us or not after seeing how effective it is from a general perspective, whether maximize utility B, experience. The mind cannot freeze that true perceptions without experience, and it must not have a feeling to be able to perceive it, just as we cannot reason color to a blind man. That natural world imposes limits on non-natural epistemologies. It implies an obligation to maximize utility since our desire to seek out certain experiences and avoid others collapses in pain and pleasure. C. Features of that outcome that we might feel is morally relevant or are impossible to divide since always underdetermined by sensory data, thus unknowable. For instance, no, I might have some experience and let me determine which side about my intuition about reality and the possibility of living in the matrix. So views about motives, intentions, other qualities which I might take people more relevant are always underdetermined, giving us no guided moral judgment except observable entities. 2 is active specificity. Protecting society's goals, government's greatest obligation, primary tenet. The obligations of government are not the same as the individuals. Primary obligations to the interest of society, not the individual moral impulses. Interests are well-being. They arise from very existing state questions when status and the sovereignty enjoys. They may be questioned from a philosophical standpoint, but the government cannot make philosophical judgments when it accepts responsibilities governing. Implicit in that assumption, the assumption that the right in the state should be sovereign, that the integrity of public life should be assured. Further, policymaking must be consequential. Since collective action results in conflict, only mutual results. Reject deontic or freedom-based science, so they only paralyze state actions. Impossible to bear trade-offs involving opportunity costs. States also lack intentionality or internal motivation, since they compose multiple individuals necessary to pass policies. It must be justified above the soul. Third, personal identity. The reduction theory of personal identity justifies utilitarianism. Shoemaker summarizes Harvard. I am strongly connected in my mind to myself that existed yesterday, but I'm weakly connected to the 10 goal state myself. You might use the word self for a person station, you not be a strong connection, or life might be unified, so the reduction view applies to the partial disintegration of persons. Utilitarianism holds to the best state of affairs in case the aggregate welfare, because they accept the reduction view by identity. They distribute principles relying on the separateness of persons and will have far less moral importance. This undermines static agency or more motivations of broadly external identity and of any capable conception of personhood. Cut the analytic there. My active text says the government ought to implement an irrevocable presumption for organ procurement. The act implements conscription laws which prevent individuals from opting out and deny family veto on organ procurement. Have even clarifies the advocacy. The most forceful laws that address the difficulty in addressing harvesting organs are donation and conscription laws. These laws presume consent allow for one's organs to be harvested after death, but in the bestow no right to either the deceased or family members to object to the invasion, and Spitalis assaults after approving advocacies in top literature. Given the current severe organ shortages and dislocation, the repros requirement for consent for cadaver organ recovery be eliminated at whether a person dies from transplant organs, these be recovered routinely. Consent should need to be requested or sought. My sole contention to organ donation. The organ shortage in the stats for releasing annual loss of hundreds of thousands of life years Schnitzler. Our estimates annually translate to 250,000 life years lost annually in the United States because of the inability to convert eligible donors to actual donors. Further, combining potential lost donors and unused or uncontributed organs are estimates suggest an annual loss of 600,000 life years. Also, no intent foresight distinction. Mental states like intention or motivation value agents that have no bearing on action. Enoch summarizes Thompson. Think about whether giving a patient deadly dose of morphine. The physician making the decision enjoys killing patients. He gives the patient the morphine. He will do it intending to enjoy these perverted pleasures. He perceives that the patient pain will be relieved by morphine dose, which is not by accident. Agents' mental states are irrelevant to the moral permissibility of the relevant action. Irrelevant to the value of state. It's an entirely different story because mental states are irrelevant for the moral status of the act, and the intending foresight distinction is without moral weight. This means any office of AC turns all intention side constraint access, you will lost life and bodily harm with violence, ancient freedom, no distinction with age to my standard. For the life and first under all of the theories of when A provides necessary conditions, individual or dead, the ability to act morally is possible. Agency contracts and state checks also exist in people, so we precludes the ability to add moral theorizing over the negative moral theories since agents are dead. They not fallacy words, and we aren't sure what outcomes matter under more framing tools. No option, no value concerning our ability to recognize values to the future. C motivation agents can choose not to act under the anti-moral theory. If it doesn't capture desire and pain that day, we conclude they ought not play a role in guide their conduct. Conscription is the best way to solve the organ shortage. It approach to 100% donations to Cal 2. With conscription, the number of cattle organs available increase dramatically. No longer numbers of precious life-saving organs to be buried or burned because efficiently cattle organ procurement would push 100%. No other option to organ procurement can even become both. And prefer systemic small-scale impacts of 1A. Any small action complete catastrophe, thus we should exclude catastrophic impacts or else cause paralysis Hansen. If overarching indirect effects are taken into account, almost any decision may lead to disaster or until decide to act. We therefore consider disregard many of the more remote possibilities. In the very idea of planning and taking precautions, we lose the meaning. However, such a world we would leave us entirely without guidance, even in a situation where we consider ourselves well informed. So could be. This word erroneous impacts with prior life experience disqualifies the probability of catastrophe Chernovsky. If someone threatened to harm one person, less getting $10 off to carry more weight, this is more plausible based on prior life experience than threatened to harm 100 people. Simply upon the fact that the estimate has such a numerous possible error, and extract claim to be more or less described in case of prior distribution life experience, and neg weighing must return the 1 and see otherwise if you are next split the time to by making new weighing and NR is functionally given to the error cause the judgment mentioned because the applicant only found NR weighing into error puts the judgment the judgment to be argued safe for presumed and also cause the change of donation with the structural laws to appear more obviously he provides analytical warrants. First, this wrong presumed consent laws that allow for the next 10 wishes to ignore the presumed clause. The second, presumed consent laws function as a signaling device. Presumed consent laws will therefore express a social norm like the expectation of equal force of action. Third, state laws are simply marked for their practice that make order procurement more efficient. We definitely escape that procurement organization more resource and wider reach of higher procurement rates and the worst autonomy violations not being able to get the work needs to provide people. You know, choose how the organs fail, not working on depriving the ability to get the organs takes away their ability to make common choice of what they want to do in life since the body can't function properly on review 1. Presumed math is several 60 times to formats to respond to some moves arguments and sensitive to TAC2. Policy simulations key to political activism in terms of key framework arguments cumbersome. After discussion, debate, motivation for your personal political activism, law debate, you students provide personal experience playing with political power, role playing, and public policy content today, encourage governments that ask for learning vocabulary, leverage power, and directive simulation, suggesting public realms far more private students complete and banning all notions of personal power and face government power. Imagine myself as a social revolutionist American, no one's fantasy, imagine myself in capital L.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
You defend conscription, right?
Well, I defend an irrebuttable presumption for word.
Okay, so how does that, do you have any argument from the AC that indicate why that's consistent with a definition of presumed consent? Do you have any
argument?
What?
The Papida argument right after my advocacy.
Okay, so how does that actually advocate for it? It doesn't talk
Papida is not a solvency advocate, but Papida explains that in the top literature there are such things as irrebuttable presumptions that we presume something and you can't overturn it.
Okay.
It's a term of art.
So the spittle evidence, that author actually advocates that we have, is anyone allowed to opt out of your system?
No.
Okay, doesn't the spittle evidence...
Spittal says there could be an exemption for religious purposes in the article, but he's unsure of it. So I specify there's no opt-out.
But in the summary, he seems to say that there should be opt-out procedures.
I mean,
that you
if you want to do
religion, I want you to defend the religious opt-out.
That there is a religious opt-out?
Yes.
I mean, the Spittal solvency advocate says it could go either way.
Where does the Spittal solvency advocate say that?
Sure. Where? Let me pull up the card.
Okay.
Here's from his article. With the possible exception of exemption on religious ground, opting out would not be possible. So Spittal has not made his mind up on exemptions, so I can go either way.
So
he says there's a possible one, but he doesn't advocate for it.
So
he's very explicit that he has an opt-out.
What is utilitarianism?
What is utilitarianism?
Yeah, I mean, what is
greatest good for the greatest number. My standards act utilitarian if you want me to further specify.
Okay, so do you say life comes first with that? Does that preclude all the frameworks? Or is that
well, I'd say life comes first under any framework. It's still consistent with the arguments in the util framework because death is the worst impact in the util.
Okay, but it still comes before all of the frameworks. Why is it? Can we get a good warrant for that?
Sure.
Okay.
So subpoint A explains the price of necessary conditions. If you are dead, then you cannot act morally.
Where do you prove that acting morally is necessary?
I mean, that's a feature of every moral theory, like the ability to be moral.
Okay, cool.
Subpoint B precludes the ability to have moral theorizing over the neg moral theory, because if you're dead, there's no way you can determine
Okay, so what's the impact? How many people die from organ shortages? Okay, so you have a card that says like 150,000 light years from loss. Where's the warrant in that? It's an assertion, like at least what you got it.
I believe
it's like you say
analysis is.
Like, I want to see what you read in the case. I don't want to see evidence that the author later presents. I want to see how you explain. Like, I want to see what you read in your case.
I mean, you can see what I read in the case. It's in the doc I signed you.
Okay, yeah.
Schnitzler's a study. I have the article on my computer if you want to go through the methodology.
Okay, so what's the study say?
The study explains that 250,000 life years are lost if you have a low estimate. It's 600,000 if you account for all organs that you actually donate. Well, because people are on organ waiting lists, they don't get organs they need, and they die.
I'm talking like, okay, so how did you reach the conclusion that results in 250,000 deaths?
Well, I am no expert statistician, but if you want to read the methodology, I would be glad to give you the argument.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just take crap. Darn crap. Wait, did you say you defend with top out? No.
Are you going to fear on me if I don't?
Yeah.
I mean, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, two off, AC.
Can you flash me with your read?
Oh, yeah.
No.
So the order is two off. First off is MC, then T. Then the AC. No, here. Is everyone ready? Okay. I need 98. I value rights to audifying the threat due to your moral gates by trying to come. Morality not contact individuals come from the social conditions that influence moral beliefs. This means any balance probably must take into account the social conditions of the individual due to valid rights. Errors found in the items attached to social and historical conditions would constitute conditions that would emerge. There is no morality without an idea once the items trying to give account of, and the idea takes account of and start with self, will find itself already contained in social temporality that exceeds on past generation. This means it will have critical effect upon the social and political conditions that bring actually understand that's required to question particular normal rules. These conditions undermine salary sometimes as they are on all of a particular perspective. This actually each favorite standard is grounded in justification or not dependent on social particularities. First, will drive invalid rules given for a reason is true, and this means that understanding the particular individual's perspectives requires knowledge of how political powers like state and capacity to create structure of truth under which people fail to understand of right and wrong. Sean Ryder writes, structure creates truth, and truth isn't outside of power. Truth is a thing of morally each type of truth or theme truth according to belief, value, morals, co-identification truth, and contemporary Western society control the truth by political and economic apparatus. The old truth in contract, although political force and can majority power can decide what mark card there. This means that any government can or can't act upon the false assumption of how governments ought to act in the first place because truth is tangled within the regime of truth created by constituting to allow people to speak out against the trend of truth. The government forces to be able to let people speak out against the truth that is important in the country's ability to have the ability to mobilize into an oppressive conception of truth. This means that allow these marginalized groups to speak out against the oppressive government into include these in discussion. For example, like race not Germany that believe that Jews are inferior are due to the government's regime of truth. That we don't sure condition challenge the oppressive normally allow the government to find our beliefs. Thus, these standards expect the right to dissent against political structures. My thesis is sole potential that presumes that the burden of organization of those who value bodily integrity are currently excluded from the system. Due to socioeconomic disparities in medicine, the burden of organization is disproportionately in the social minority system presumes that attributes that are active in medicine be the ones spread across Shepard, Hughes, and explains. There is little confidence in the vulnerability of substance class and attribute for the designated urban population in the U.S. group is poorly overrepresented in ICU due to the disproportionate exposure to urban violence, high risk suicide, and physical death and social societal and medical those lacking culture source of great number of those whose family members are asked to donate the organs of loved ones. The great many families refuse because they're being asked to organ support system that excludes them within which would have lower probability of receiving an organ should the need arise. White persons donate among poor Latino and African Americans is a political act of considered resistance. Human rights workers play a gross violation of Palestinian bodies Israeli college relying on presumed consent that it serves to illegally harvest organs that they believe are helping save lives, which is more important than trying to cure that consent families. Some bodies were, however, exempt the bodies of Israeli soldiers. And combined with the fact that many of the least well-off will be unaware of state policy, may not have the time to have it unfair to make the donor organ from one thing they wanted to be able to control how the remainder of the Jacob explains. Presumed consent policy by implicit to the culture, long life, utilitarian fragmentation of identity, bodies assured superiority over other cultures, mere right to opt out, not enough room for active power position, encourage silence and privilege, but participation, minority maintain standard situation of reversible percent for opt out here for language barriers and communication, probably be a counter help for medical community view, or an for cultural lens, using understanding and sensitive to each group's ethnic group's cultural family in any way, which may influence decisions about whether or not to specifically bad in context from case consider doesn't even give them a chance to opt out. Additionally, he doesn't even allow for religious exemptions. Also going back if you believe the organs are necessary for like any type of appellate or something. Also going to probably going back. Now next off, skipping that card. A is the interpretation of presumed consent managed an opt out from organs. Gill explains. Presumed consent would include the assumption that infants to donate organs every registered or not have organ food, and that registered side is expected. In our case, violation is a violation that you're talking about organ consent. You're not actually talking about presumed consent. And also for this evidence, I'm reading this is actually compared between Harris and Alcorn, right? The harvest of organs as a natural reason for consent of the donor family. What distinguishes naturalization of cadavers from presumed consent from presumed voluntary consent is the inability of the donor family to opt out of the donation. The fact is, you don't allow them to opt out. That's what the definition is saying. Standard one talks about a lot of people debate over presumed consent. There's almost no literature on considered. That's why everyone's cutting the same Spittle evidence. You said Spittle's a reason that's one to be. Then he says Spittle's reason in the top literature. However, one if you actually list all the templates the topic or the conscription templates, they almost always use Spittle evidence. There are very, very few articles on this topic. And in context, there's at least a lot of debate over whether or not presumed consent helps to increase organ in literature. To keep actually ensuring we're able to debate about these. You only have like one article on one side of these. You don't have articles on the other side of these. It's really hard to debate about in two. For example, conscription, these automatic access to all supply negative defense that's function fixed to one burden more affluent, but the anti-text is usual. Potential would be unfair because he's arguing that he just increased it 100% was absolutely not actually solve that in depth. That's the rest process between you need to be able to I should be able to win under this member shouldn't be descriptive. And also limit other interpretation actions entirely new literature based on float after himself. In fact, with the A point that classification I can't gave uncritical acts always other education impacts as the activity is in round comparison between the two, and also creating perhaps his neck burden expands there more after each block out of that way the already master crafting with the apps to work on one but the neck has the apps really to work on it. The neck has to work on several different apps further. But one vote fairness is basically to be done requires that you actually have a fair round to buy, and also two you should vote on education. One because it actually has a lasting impact outside of run, and also because school fund they supposed to be an educational activity. Now to AC. Starting on Greenhill. One, the Russell evidence talk about how we have things are good, but however, I'm saying that our interpretation is good, our interpretation was good, but by studying the end terms always going to be a prerequisite, and then the Sinabatu evidence. One, it's a fallacy, the end because the Russell evidence talks about good or bad, but just because Sinabatu says that util means that doesn't mean that util is actually a correct moral theory, and two, that even if we value the input, that doesn't mean that he never has a link to why that means we look at utilitarian. It doesn't mean that we have to maximize everyone's happiness, not an epistemology argument. You say I have it, you say you're the only difference off there's no reason that the end, there was no specific comparison to why the MC is not able to make new arguments. Like if you make arguments, like he can, they're not specific to the MC, so they don't actually apply like that. He's not even specific to how usually they will solve. The key point is to talk about experience. However, why the epistemology coverage and one, the epistemology argument self-speaking because epistemology argument self-speaking is an analytical reason why empiricism arguments 2 and 2. There's no specific warrants why this thing happen with utilitarian, but I can still look at empirical evidence. C point. The problem is that it doesn't actually deny why mine is wrong because I can look at ends too. Then on the canon evidence, one, there's no warrant part that actually states why states are morally required to be, and two, compared to 9 states are not never states never actually in the real one. Also, the free I think that the NC that would be something that states should be oppressing or resistant in carpet evidence. Just one, you're not actually reading into the study which talk about why we're not able to have personal identity, but also it's not that utilitarian if we're not able to connect with ourselves like who we were 10 minutes ago. That's not a reason we have to look at UDLM and powder evidence. The problem is you don't actually have definition of pursuing sense, and you don't actually have definition of pursuing sense. Not you also don't have reason for it. So I can answer it, and I can answer that I've already answered the middle. Then the 10-1 evidence, this is evidence. One, there's no warrant. You never explain the arguments of why you're actually able to solve life years because you need to be able to explain the methodology or at least read the methodology. You can't just read the conclusion. But additionally, the argument in terms of life years makes no sense because that's not a quantification of how many people's lives you actually save on the Enoch evidence. Doesn't matter because it's intent for extinction. Definitely the life evidence. One thing not so I'm still able to preserve life. Your arguments can ever imply at any time you can't act morally cover that because you just assume that people that you just need to assume that people need to act morally, but then the evidence that you say I can't do race there's no reason why being able to not do race bad. You also say you could not act on the case number. There's no reason that life is able to prevent that. There's no reason you didn't need to deal with that. So I systematically attacks that ways. Yeah. And then you also say no new with neg weighing into 1 and D. If you read your argument, I really answer that. Also, time 2 probably reasons not, because otherwise he has like 4, 6 versus 10. Versus 6 versus 10 versus 7, sorry.
Everyone can go with yes? Really quick, did you read any arguments for no RBIs? No?
Not in the 2 and R.
Not
in 1 and C.
Okay, so let's talk about this T shop. It seems these arguments are pretty bad. What about topic literature? What's your reason why there's no literature?
Okay, so the argument is specifically looking at how many people, like the very fact that everyone's reading the same arguments about the topic. Because if you look at the wiki,
so
or you look
I
at
just want to clarify. Your warrant for topic literature comes just from an analytical argument. You don't actually read anything that says conscription's not in the literature, right?
Well, I mean, I'd say, I looked at your conscription shell, and the arguments that you're going to read as to why it's in the topic literature, you can see like that it's,
I don't know how you looked at it, because I haven't disclosed one, but
you definitely did.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about solvency turnaround. Why is how is there a deficit in solvency turnaround?
Okay, so the argument is that if you just read conscription, that probably means that I can't get any access on the utilitarian framework because
can you not read impact terms?
Well, I mean, I don't think that's
okay. So you could read impact.
Very good argument.
Could you read a disadvantage about trust in the health system?
I don't know.
Could you read a disadvantage about the constitutionality of conscription?
I mean, you can make these arguments.
Could you read an advantage counterplan and then compare the solvency of the advantage counterplan to the marginal disadvantages of conscription?
I mean, if you want to make those arguments in the next speech, you can do that.
I might want to.
Okay.
Let's talk about limits. So in the world of my interpretation, there's literally one more path. How am I exploiting limits?
Okay. I mean, the limits argument indicates that any explosion, like if you're conceding that you're going over the boundaries, it's probably specific.
So in the world of your interpretation, there are 2 affirmative cases. One where there's an opt-out with a family veto, and one with an opt-out without a family veto. By adding a 3rd case, how am I exploding limits?
I think that the resolution is, I mean, I don't get what you mean there's only one case. I think the resolution is supposed to limit you to debating about one issue, increasing...
I understand the resolution sets limits, but I want to understand how my interpretation has abusive limits. Okay. Do you draw a distinction? Do you draw a bright line for when limits are abusive? Or is it always abusive just out of norm?
Already indicate that anything outside of the resolution or what the resolution indicates is bad.
So, is that limits or is that like a textuality standard?
I think the argument impact actually. Okay. Specifically how textuality, I think, is pure related. Because limits are derived
one more thing.
right?
You realize that the tournament rules say explicitly you need to have your page numbers disclosed. And you're reading the same Butler NC, and I checked your wiki, and Butler doesn't have his page number on the wiki.
What?
So I don't want to read disclosure theory, but I will allow you to drop the NC.
No.
No? You're explicitly violating the tournament rules.
What?
You can drop the NC, and there will not be disclosure theory in this round.
No.
No?
No. I mean, if you want me, I'd still say even if you buy that argument,
It literally says on Joy tournaments you need page numbers.
I'm
trying to be
can I
reasonable.
see the arguments on Joy
yes. Alright. Can I, do you want me to start prep while I pull that up? Here, 5 minutes, start now. Page numbers.
Okay, well, I'll concede which is the Butler.
I want the NC to go away.
I won't say the NC goes away, I'll say the card the NC goes away. I say I still have analytics.
Okay.
Also, the writer evidence isn't a book. So it's
The Butler evidence.
Yeah, the Butler evidence.
I understand right, because like I
Okay.
looked for your NC before the round. You don't read any turns to the F, right?
I just have the non-explicit terms.
So, what's your criterion text?
The standard professional range descent against political structures.
What is dissent?
Okay, that'd be able to challenge the assumption the government discoveries have been very good on this point, as it specifically indicates how the refusal to donate is something that they're able to challenge the current exclusion is outranking the medical system, especially when you don't even allow.
So your Jacobs evidence talks about how opt-out is oppressive. I don't have an opt-out.
Then I think that means that would just, if you want to make that argument, means you violate the T-shell.
Okay, so if I'm in the key debate, Jacobs is not offense read.
I mean, I don't know exactly what arguments you're going to take on that. I mean, I mean, your argument, you just said, if you're winning the debate, then if you're winning the debate, then you should be defending this dissent, in which case Jacobs would apply.
Actually, one more. You said T dropped the debate, right?
No.
Did you make any implication for T?
No. I just said they're voters, so the implication case goes away. So if you're not topical.
Okay. 1 minute remaining. Order is T,
Are you reading
NC, AC. sorry, this is going to take a little bit of time. Do you want me to just report after the speech? Like, it's early too? Okay. I'm actually using analytics off my computer too. If you want me to splash the cards. Alright, just whatever you're doing. I don't know how to read all of it. And if I have extra time to read something else, I'll flash it after. It's called key stuff. Okay. So once again, T, MC, AC. Is everyone good to go? Ready? Are you good? Clear? Start. Everyone good now? Counter-interpretation of modified computing consent. There are various types of computing consent systems that truly give above presumption consent would be, in essence, a conservative words are hard. Some system with lots of notice, soft values, soft presumption system will avoid receiving words within and injecting that includes prescription heavily clarifies. Most forceful laws are ordered prescription laws. These laws would presume consent for so to rights of objective innovation. I mean my interpretation to stand say if you reflect my interpretation best represents the author's interpretation. One, it comes from an author includes negative proving that neck authors account for my acting rejecting presumed consent, which means he has plenty of top literature, software top literature containing a article concludes and it concludes the negative consent is not time to have presumed second I have two definitions from 1999, 2010, which means it's a span of 11 years where my literature was consistent with my definition, which is in literature. Third, my best in terms of field context goes a modest compare between various types of students that engage. We looked at one type of students together, like bias fairly together because they survey of the entirety of the literature, so it's really better than skill evidence. Fourth line is about more U.S. specific. In the United States, we have the rebuttal presumption to be the right framework of context of this resolution, which direct recognizing systems and accuracy of USlegal.com. Conclusive presumption, absolute presumption, and truly rebuttal presumption. Law refers to a presumption which should not be overcome chain of textuality, scheme, and terms which arguments can be made. Also, say side concerning the topic of sexuality, terms which arguments are topical, jurisdictional, first place fine. When my interpretation is textual, it's thoughtful. Second counter-interpretation. Counter-interpretation, the only non-topical asking the defendant to search and provide to close the abstract text and to provide to close the abstract text and wiki. Solve for all your views. You know what case I'm going to read. This is on the wiki, so you can predict and prep. It also turns your top literature predictability limits arguments. I can only read one. There's a position of the word my counter-interpretation, which resists solve, even if I'm not being topical line, still being fair than good it is in turn. One idea is still conceptually possible to opt out and just destroy all your orders on death. Then on his literature arguments, this is one is empirically denied. This is by the way, that's valid in the affirmative case. Two, turn you have a stronger link to your autonomy literature, and I think most of the literature is based off side restrictions. He has a stronger link to the core of the negative literature, which is autonomy objection arguments, which is better for his top literature. Third, turn he has a trust disatt as usually the top literature. The reason why people will really not trust the government always takes the word which he is for top literature. Also rejecting does not any author talk about there's no literature. Then I'll just solve the third ground. First, you can read a presumed consent counterclaim with an author. That solves all your solve the third ground. Second, turn you crossify the top literature turns to the soft literature, the solve the third ground. Third, turn he can make a bunch of impact turns by self. It's really good between seemingly back to it. Fourth, he can add and he has various disadvantages. Either arguments that the conscription is not constitutionalized to the U.S. software. Other arguments that we have trust in the medical system that can take out solvency for all the medical advantages the African need as necessary to solve the third ground. Also, fourth, the fifth turn, he has more stable ground because I can shift out of entities by saying that people can opt out. People can opt out. Then I was limits argument. One, this makes no sense to say zero sum makes no sense. I have one more after turn. He over limits and he makes it two after which kills my ability to run. Also, as an argument interpretation, all these terms are non-unique because if I can read conscription as an athlete, you can read it as a counterclaim. Third, the athlete conscription, someone A, the athlete has a structural disadvantage of it. If conscription is abusive, it should be given to the affirmative. It's not to someone B. It's a lot worse with a negative read conscription because I can't read a new economy frame from one hour to indict the athlete. R, the athlete says, otherwise, topical is necessary for this much burden on me because I have to move athletes topical and when he says reject the athlete, losing time to athletes, so it would be possible to win. NC. As an read the NC. NC means neutral. First, I told the individual when you present against the other some harm you. Second, you can't dissent. You can't dissent if you're worried about the next lord being harm, so you need to have you feel to maximize that office. But analysis first, as we were talking about, we're talking about the same things you can't look at NC. Secondly, you back means we should take account of precedent. Ideology when we're getting with the brief office. Writer analysis first. These are the targets, but small still built within the system. So he went to the writer second. Second, we can't look at absolute science range possibility analysis. He indicates that he can see the negative use analysis turn is what better increases the amount of time to have or restriction because it's more coercive. This means more people will know it's government outwards on scope. It's only has a minor harm third turn, second turn, isolate the analysis and use analysis. Everyone gets orders between stops good majority. Go to PC. Extend your life to the person so be his only argument to extend life to a person. There's no one for the person. Is he more you need to respect life in order that have more theorizing person. Secondly, you need to have more active guide action crews is more because we use to be followed in extensive time. Save lives and extending analysis. You know, you can see that there's no intent foresight distinction key. Intent to kill people because there's no intent foresight distinction. This means all this mental analysis for the case turns you can see silence. This is that mental feedback.
Okay. Can you tell me what you did here before we start?
And I exempt an additional more contextuality.
Alright. I have 1 minute and 27 seconds. Okay. What were you arguing? What was your first argument against the argument top the NC?
Argument top the NC?
Yeah, you can't send your harm. What was the first argument?
Oh, the first argument was that if the government is practically harming people, that is like what causes dissent in the first place. So if we're going to be consistent with dissent, we have to look at utility. And the second is that you're worried about your next meeting.
Okay, what's the arguments after that?
What?
What were the arguments after that? You made in response to the writer. What was the first one?
Oh, the first was that it is still within the epistemology of the state. So, but a writer takes out itself. And the second, I believe, is that the government.
What's the first argument against Shepherd's evidence?
The first term is that it is more coercive because more people will rebel against conscription, which leads to an increased amount of dissent, so outweighs on scope. The second is that the argument isn't denied because everyone donates organs.
Okay. Around, then it would be NC-AC theory.
Where do you want us to play it?
NC. Okay, is everyone ready? Biggest problem I'm going to reason why he's not getting already special since it's dropped the argument. Also, that means you're going to be looking at stuff that I'm going to really have to spend way too much time with pre-base. So that go to the has so you can send the argument that's below, but the animals below, but I'm not talking about learning. This means that the argument because social conditions are able to influence beliefs because we have certain beliefs needs to state able to influence that, which is also the right argument. You can all send the argument altogether. The right argument indicates particularly what the state is able to do, the one who's able to influence our moral beliefs. But the argument is necessary. Right argument indicates how the state is able to shape our moral beliefs. And the argument below that was specifically means that the state is able to shape these moral beliefs. And the prerequisites doing the AC, we need to be able to, they're prerequisite arguments that we're conceived. That means I can for you. Then we have just the prerequisite arguments. I'm saying we need to look at this in order to evaluate bias in our system, which is a prerequisite, which is a reason why we have to look at this before we look at life. So that means we can say, so because we need to check what the government did to do, then again, respect and right to stand against the record. He says we're talking to the government, that means we have to look at respect to stand down. At least you talk about the first right, like that, it's incredibly unclear how that means. Just because we're looking at the government means we have to look at you. So I'm saying the state, if they use utilitarian, is going to be a bias system. It's going to be a bias system because it's going to be a bias because their interpretation of what's right or wrong is not. This is going to be right. He says we can't be the Senate if you're being harmed. Actually, is that however I did the Shepherd indicates that people are currently being harmed in this next status quo. In the next status quo, also there's no particular reason that means we have to look at utilitarian convert. Then on the right argument to say that I'm still solving the epistemology of the system. There's no reason I'm solving the epistemology of the system because the right argument indicates that we have the individuals be the one solving the state. Also, there's no absolute scientific coverage. Just because you're absolute scientific coverage, talking about Dan Halvey, there's no explicit applications of how it takes out the ACs. Just because he reads the arguments as a cross-slide, he did not spend enough time to answer this argument. So don't grade on you read something. That means you shepherd these arguments talk about. This means that you're able to. That means you create a solution because you found that these specifically social, less well-off groups are excluded from these systems. They want to dissent. They're able to dissent by saying, "Oh, let's not give our organs." So that was his first argument that more people rebel. However, these Shapley's evidence is very specific to the type of stuff they want to be doing. Is they want to not be able to contribute to the method system. You're forcing them to contribute to the method system. They're not able to opt out. So it's very this turns bad. And then the second argument is that everyone gets it. That's when we solve. However, my argument is not a disparity in the system. It's just my argument is that there are socioeconomic disparities in the entire method system. So they want to be able to send in order to get out of that. And even if everyone gives, it doesn't matter because you're forcing everyone to give. It's obvious if they don't want to do it, then that's bad. So I clearly went under the NC, but now let's go to the AC, specifically on physics extension. Okay. He tries to send the B point that you can't theorize over the problems. I did the argument that you can't theorize arguments that there's no reason why people are going to be able to need to theorize. So you just send a very quick lengthy argument explain that just explains why I like them first. You also don't even extend any arguments. You don't even weigh how many lies you say. There's no reason that I can't be doing that too. If you're talking about people from exclude from non-system, that's probably a bad thing. So he just tried to extend the argument. He also extended the Enoch evidence. However, again, he's not actually clarifying what that means. Then let's go to theory phase. Okay. First thing. No RBI. The biggest problem, the biggest reason he doesn't get RBI is because it wasn't even dropped in the first place. So it's unreciprocal. If unreciprocal, he says his argument for the RBI is that it's unreciprocal. However, there's no reason it's unreciprocal because it wasn't ever a reason to drop in the first place. So it would be unreciprocal to say that if it's dropped, it was dropped his argument. So if it's dropped the argument for him, it shouldn't be dropped the argument for me. He should have no explicit reasons. There's nothing in the last speech that explained why that was true. So after that means you don't grant him the RBI. It means you have to win. But additionally, you shouldn't get the argument with the one because you don't want to be fair to the logical possibility. Otherwise, both sides that would win in any debate with theory. It's not all recently resolved to convert to the Brown. The Brown structure must have one or two arguments. Discourage debate for one theory and potentially legitimate position against biggest impact in terms of theory's theory. Can't define specifically during this stage. You obviously know that conscription is intuitive conscription is not conscription is obviously not an ad hoc. You're able to do this crap out of the T debate. So that is going to empirically proven in the Brown. So if it's a reason to drop the argument, then that would just mean T goes away. But then let's go to my show. So. Oh, sorry. Extend the interpretation, which is the Gill evidence. Talk about presumed consent, which is still allowed for you to be able to default extend the violation. You can see the Harrison Alcott evidence talks, which also would be a specific reason to find definition because it's actually comparative. But things to be the same because it's actually talking about the definition between cataphic descriptive as opposed to specifically what presumed consent is. That's always going to be for my definition over his definition. But then on the standards, okay. Extending limit definition, which talks about how any interpretation is not specifically bound by the text of the rest of the because that increases the number of arguments that you're going to have to be able to prep out. So, let's see, his arguments against this, or sorry, yeah, okay. He says it's just one rational, but the argument still indicates it's bad in any circumstance because adding one rational to something else, you're going to have to be able to prep out. You're supposed to be held to the text resolution. You're held to the text resolution. You can't be adding any one rational. I don't have to clarify with that. I am expected to prep what the resolution is talking about. So that means that voter fairness, you're having reasons why tax. You take extent reasons why tax values. If there are reasons why tax values, that's going to be specific reasons for that. But additionally, you vote on fairness in order to have an increasing this argument anyway, increasing the number of arguments you have to debate can be bad. Start on his second shell. He says that it's disclosed. However, disclosure doesn't solve. One because disclosure doesn't solve because it doesn't answer back the argument. It's not going to be taxed. Disclosure doesn't answer the argument back. It's going to be taxed. It doesn't solve it back. It's not textual, so it shouldn't be expected to prepare against it. Even if it is only a slight harm, it doesn't matter because he never clarifies why we have to look at reasonability and why it's physically bad. But then specifically on the let's go to this next step, which is the harm evidence. However, the problem with definitions is just how to talk about an irrefutable presumption. That's not using the term of our presumed that's not using the term of our presumed consent. It's just saying there's an irrebuttable presumption. So it's not actually talking about what presumed consent would be in all. So it's not talking about what presumed consent would be. So here's how we're going to so okay. Definition is definitely not talking about presumed consent. If you were talking about presumed consent, you can't have an irrefutable presumption. That's not the same as the term presumed consent. But additionally, it doesn't get RBIs. There are also no reasons. I didn't make any reasons why theory comes first. You shouldn't just assume that just because it's assumed in every other round.
Alright, I'm going to start now. The only offense you extend from the NC is Hughes, right? Yeah, Jeffers Hughes. second reason why RBIs are bad?
The second reason RBI is bad. Again, RBI discourage failure from running theory against potentially legitimate conditions. Against good theory, whose biggest impact of theory because theory can't interpret function. And I was like, specifically in this round, is the observation now, which is intuitively untopical. Your argument didn't like the limit standard to prove that. And you just crapped out the T debate because you wanted to go for T as opposed to having an active debate.
Okay. It's going to be overview, the T debate really quickly on the last two arguments I made against his shell, then extensions of textuality, RBIs, then intention foresight stuff. Yeah. Everyone good to go? He concedes the argument I make is essential that he proves that his interpretation is abusive. It's better to give it to the athlete if he wins any offense by his interpretation is abusive, by interpretation is abusive capacity. It's better to give it to the athlete. First, it's better to give it to the athlete. The athlete has structural disadvantage in the time to extend. Number two, that the interpretation is uniquely more abusive for the negative reasons. This means accountable because I can't read a new framework in the one area to solve back for this means that even if it's true that it overlimits it, that's not unique, so we can both read it. So it's better to give it to the athlete. So the framing. Both, either way, someone's going to read conscription. It's better to give it to the affirmative if it's abusive. He concedes that. But even by the textuality argument, he concedes multiple warrants of textuality extending. The personality warrants of textuality fine. Authors concludes negative, which means it shows that it's in the negative topical literature which solves for any possible use. Extend the second one that's from 1999 to 2010. This is multiplication. So when A means that my interpretation was consistent from 1999 to 2010, also means I the most recent interpretation is. It reads both the arguments come from 2005, but mine is the most recent interpretation of the topic, so it's most accurate then. It's in the U.S. law analysis showing that there's an irrevocable assumption U.S. law. This argument response doesn't make sense because he says it doesn't apply to an extent, but it does. It is a form of legal presumption. As far as their legal presumption in U.S. laws, we have framers of the resolution that come from the United States. They would frame it in conscription as a possible advocacy. Mine is clearly most textual. Any offense unlimited turns. So all I have to do is get the RBI. It's game over. He concedes that I get an RBI, RBIs are true, they increase the necessary participation burden on me because I have to go through multiple layers of flow. His drop the argument thing makes no sense. Because first, he was unclear. He said to reject the entire graphic, but what he said in cross-examination was functionally drop the data. Second, even if you reject my advocacy, you still lose the round. So I still should get an RBI. Then offense logical possibility arguments. Offense logical possibility argument. I'm justifying my RBIs are actively good things seem to be unreciprocal, so there's no logical inflation. Second, he has no terminal impact of logical inflation. Third, counter-interpretation, the only thing that's logical in here you read is an RBI solves for all arguments that judgment like mentioned. Then all his arguments about deterring reading legitimate theory. First turn is worse to not have an RBI. That means that so only a few rounds to be heard reading theory against a good theory debate, but it's a lot worse having necessary participation burden on the academic round, especially in context of topicality where you can read no risk T against the affirmative round, which is the affidavit have to deal with the next. Second turn is better because it deters frivolous theory and ensures that people actually believe in their theory shell, so that leads to better norms for the activity because it ensures that people actually read good theory arguments in turn, and it's for line with the topicality debate. It proves that I was actually fair in the first place. Then go to the app. He concedes Enoch, it's game over. Extending analysis for Enoch explains there's no intent foresight distinction. This means he wills to lost life. His only response to the NT was that it doesn't matter, but he concedes the warrants coming to Enoch. This means if we know that we're going to harm someone, we are actually willing to the life's harm. He's intending to silence his end because he's killing people. He concedes Enoch. It is the highest strength of link. His only response to Enoch in both speeches has been glossing over and saying it doesn't matter. If there's a risk of reason Enoch matters, it's game over because he harms loss of life. But even if you go by that, re-extend the life, re-extend the outcomes to the software description, and extend that life comes first. His only response to there's no warrant by life comes first. Explicit warranty for the case. NT arguments don't matter if you can't reach come to the more conclusions than usually conclusions in the first place. Also, there's no motivation to follow the NT. He's arguments will that there's no warrant by life comes first. If there's any risk of warrant, then it's game over. So I can hear NT. If I lose my advocacy, I can't generate offense. He concedes the reciprocity argument. Even then, Enoch in the life comes first argument is pretty why I win in some sense.